It is Wednesday, boys and girls. It is time to move on. I've got so much that I want to cover today, but first things first. We just hit 20,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for all you brand new people and you people that have been with us for years. It's kind of a milestone, so we really want to. Did I say milestone? No, milestone. Thank you so much, guys. We so appreciate it. We want to keep giving you guys value and giving you guys a reason to hang around and try and help as much as we can. So as always, send me emails. And then the other thing that I want to mention is Monday's video. I'm sure that I got a little emotional at one point just because sometimes I get so passionate that I kind of get out of hand and I get out of control, and I'm a crier. That's what I do. I'm a crier. That's what I do. I cry at movies. I cry at
commercials.
Yeah, commercials. I'm a crier. That's what I do. So anyway, I'm not going to apologize for it. I was thinking about apologize, but you know what? I'm not going to apologize. It's just who I am. It's what I do. You guys kind of like authenticity, and that was authentic. Actually, I had to actually cut that back so I didn't have more time. I actually, did that. Anyway, we're moving on. So that was that. Okay, so one thing that I realized the other day, somebody sent in their router bits. They're a premium member. They sent in their router bits for me to sharpen. And one of them was the 45-degree chamfer bit. And what I'm going to show right now, I can't believe I've never showed it on film before. Guys, this is a bearing at the end. And, if you're using this very much, this bearing, it's not a sealed bearing. Sawdust gets in there. It gets it'll get rough after a while. In fact, go check all of your bits like this that have a bearing and do this and see if you feel any roughness. There's no roughness in this one, but the one that the guy sent the other day, it was completely seized up. It was solid. You couldn't. It was like a steel pilot. But here's what you do.
Pull it towards you. You got it out of
just
shot.
Any kind of oil, 3-in-1 oil. Just periodically put a drop of oil in there. It'll seep in there, and then just kind of work it around, and till that roughness comes out of there. And 99 times out of 100, even if it's seized up, 99 times out of 100, it'll loosen right up for you. So you just have to work it. This is already spinning better since I just put that little drop of oil. It's just something I've never shared before. I've done it, all my life basically. But I was asking Dad about it the other day, and he says, "You never put that on video?" And no, I never have. Anyway, just a tip for you. So we can leave it at just that, but I got a lot more that I want to do. All right, so I want to do an experiment because I keep running into questions and issues that you guys have, but I've got to kind of do a setup for it. So we're going to come back and we're going to do an experiment. All right, guys, so here's what we got. I have 5 different 2-inch Clarendon letters here, and this is an experiment that I'm doing, but I want you guys to do it too. What I'm hearing a lot and what I'm seeing a lot is still a lot of overspraying. So I want to prove something to you. Gosh, I hope it works since I'm doing this. So first things first, these are outset letters. If you guys haven't seen me do these outset letters, this demo is not really about carving, it's really more about spraying. So I'll go and watch these videos if you want to see how these are done. Number 55, number 74, number 163, and number 202. And there's probably about 30 or 40 more where I'm carving like this. So there's tons of stuff to go and check. So, but what I want to do is I want to spray each one of these differently. Now I'm going to use the primer. Both of these work basically the same for me, but you can see that the primer has a different nozzle. It comes out much, much faster. This is your traditional nozzle. It works fine, and it's actually a little bit easier to use, but I want to use the one that comes out faster for this experiment, just kind of show what I want to show. So both of these work, the Marsh Spray Stencil ink and the primer. Don't use the primer / paint, just the primer. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to block off each one of these. I'm going to only spray one at a time. Gosh, I hope this works, because it worked really good in my mind. So here's what I'm going to do. This is going to be a spray, and as I go through this process, each one is going to get sprayed heavier. Make sure you shake these things up, either the ink or the primer. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to spray it. That's it. That's all I'm doing. That's a very light spray. So now I'm going to move on to the next one. And I don't want overspray on any of the others. I want to do one at a time. I'm going to spray theoretically a little bit heavier. That's a little bit heavier. Okay, I'm going to move on. Heavier. We're going to move on. And heavier yet. We're going to move on. Now what I'm using here, by the way, this is a piece of cedar. And actually I shouldn't have wasted it on this, because if you see, it's about 7 or 8 inches wide. I can't even get this here. This is a piece that my son left when he was over here. He brought it from California and he forgot it and left it, but I'm utilizing it now. So now the last one, here's what I suspect that most people are doing. That's what I suspect that most people are doing. If you need to know, that is overspraying. So we're going to let all of these dry, and we're going to then come back and sand these off and see what they look like. So, all right, so I'm going to sand them off here in a minute, but Vicki brought up a really good point. She's going to do close-ups on these. So you can see this is a little bit lighter, and you can see, you know, spots through the black. Okay, as you go around. But here's the thing, guys. When it's all black like that, my term for it is kind of an optical illusion. The fact that you think that because you can see a little bit of stuff through that black, that it's going to look bad when it's sanded off. And that really is just not the case. So you can see a little bit here, a little bit less there, a little bit less there, probably just about none there, and of course absolutely none there. And so we're going to sand these off. This is still, because I basically poured that stuff on, that's still got a little time for it to dry, but we'll be right back. All right, so we're going to sand this off. So again, and I've said this many times, but I want to reiterate this. First of all, always look for my newest information on any specific subject. For instance, sanding. If you go back and watch sanding videos that I did years ago, I was using an 80 and a 120, and then different times I've used different things. This is what I've been using for a while. I'm using a 40 grit. This is either a 40 or a 50, either one works. And then I'm using on this is a little 175 grit. So these are the two sanding. This is my first sand and my second sand. If you want to go finer than that, you can absolutely go finer that with a little orbital sander or whatever. But these are the two that I use most of the time. But if you go back and watch old videos, you'll see that that's kind of, that's not what I was using back in the old days. So I'm always kind of refining and trying to get better, and I learn from you guys as well. You guys tell me what you're doing. So let's sand this off right now. So you can see I took off most of the black, not all of it, but probably 90, a little over 90% of it. Now let's take the rest of it off. All right, let's do the reveal. Actually, I didn't have the vacuum over here set up. Hold on. Be there in just a second, guys. Oh, looks like it is plugged in. So let's see what it looks like. Okay, so let's check this out. So now, babe, if you can zoom in on each of these again and work your way across, I'm going to point out some stuff. So actually, it looks to me like this actually experiment actually worked. And I've never done this before, which is kind of unusual for me. I normally do it off camera first. So you can see right here, you can see some light spots through there. I'm not suggesting this one, and I'm maybe not suggesting this one, but look how much better this looks than this. This one actually looks pretty good. If you put a finish on that, nobody's ever going to know that you got a few little light spots in here. But this one, you know, that was like 3 little quick sprays. That one looks perfect. Doesn't that look absolutely jet black down in there? It pretty much does to me. And then this one is a little bit heavier. This is still not too bad. But now, babe, if you can zoom in on this, this is where you have a problem. See that bleeding right in there? And actually, I should have used pine for this because pine shows it up that much more. This is really less susceptible to the bleeding than pine is. But you still, even with cedar, you'll get bleeding because I just sprayed that in there so heavy. And I've seen signs, actually, a guy sent me a sign the other day that he was using this material and it was bleeding worse than this. So it might have been akin to him tearing off the top of the can and pouring it in. I mean, it bled really bad. But that's what's happening. So I want you guys, so baby, if you can come back up to me. So here's the thing, you guys. I don't want you to just watch me do this. I want you guys to do this. I want you to set up and do exactly what I did. Because until you actually experience it, and know kind of where that fine line is between not enough and too much, you're going to find, and I know, you know, none of you probably were born with a spray can in your hand. I've been doing this since I was 10 years old, so I make it look probably a lot easier than it is, but it's not that difficult to do once you do it and you find that sweet spot. That's what you guys need to do. So don't just depend on me and you know, on doing this experiment. I want you guys to do this experiment so you can understand what's not enough and what's too much. But if you have to err to one side, go with not enough. Because you can always go back and add a little bit. If you get to this end and you've got too much, then you're starting over. So definitely always start with too light and do this experiment. Play it out. It doesn't take that long. It took me, I don't know, 10 minutes to carve all these, and then, you know, now you saw what I did. So another tip that I wanted to, so anyway, if you guys have questions, let me know. Why do I still have my gloves on? I don't know. Let me know. Eric@makeitwithsign.com. Write me an email. The other thing is these spray nozzles. Let me explain something to you. This is the spray nozzle off of the primer. These things they'll get kind of boogered up, for lack of a better term. They'll get kind of clogged and stuff. This is acetone. You can see I've got this one. This one actually was sitting in there for about an hour this morning, and this one I just put in there. See how that kind of breaks that stuff loose? So let it sit in there for an hour or two. Now that doesn't work with the ink. With the ink, gasoline. I don't have a jar of gas right here, but take your nozzles off. If they end up like spurting and you know, sputtering and that kind of stuff, it's either your nozzle or it's the tube inside. So take your nozzles off and put them in a little jar like this of gasoline for a couple hours. Let them set. Then when they're done, after they've set, then take your compressor. I don't have a compressor, but your gun, your compressor gun, and then here, let me show you. And then if this was this one, I would take this off and I would put this right there and just blast that with air until it comes out here. Then you know your nozzle is clean. But it works really well. I did this one actually. This one was kind of caked up, and I did it a couple hours ago. So, but I don't have my compressor set up out here in the studio. Okay, the other thing is there's a couple of videos that I want you guys to go watch as far as spray can issues. This one you can see how it's all kind of stuff all over because I had an issue with it and didn't want to spray. So go back and watch videos number 63 and videos number 81. And I talk about what happens is sometimes these tubes that are down in here, they get kind of plugged up. And I go over how to deal with that on 63 and 81. Wow, that was a lot of stuff. Okay, that is it, guys. Hope you guys are having a great week. We've got so much exciting stuff going on. I can't even tell you. I'm so excited about a couple different ideas. This big collaboration that we've got coming up. I'm hoping that we'll start on it on... I'm hoping that we're going to keep that a secret. I'm hoping that we'll start on that on Friday. That's what I'm hoping. We've got some stuff that we got to get taken care of, but that's what I'm hoping. So if this was helpful, guys, I'm again, because of you guys, we're at 20,000 subscribers and rising, and it's because of you guys, and we so appreciate it. But I'm asking you, please share this video if you liked it. Tell all your woodworkers friends. Give us a like if you would. The dislikes I don't care for that much, but whatever. I'm on Instagram, Make a Wood Sign. I'm starting to do more and more stuff on there. If you guys have certain things that you want to see, hey, email me, eric@makeawoodsign.com. I don't check Facebook that much as far as messages, but eric@makeawoodsign.com, I check that all the time, like probably 10 times a day. So that's the fastest way to get a hold of me. What am I forgetting, babe? Am I forgetting anything? I guess that's about it. Thanks again, guys, for watching, and we'll have a demo on Friday, one way or the other, whether we're starting this new one or we've got so many cool things going on. Wait till you guys hear. It's really exciting. Great stuff. So we'll see you guys on Friday. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.